10 years later, he called Mother and said, "Mother, you remember me?" And said, "Yes, yes, how is it going?" Says, "Mother, that lamp you lit in my heart is still shining bright."
Hello, and welcome to Kept in Her Heart, where we talk about all things faith-related. I'm your host, Jenny Fuchs. Today, Patrick Norton joins us. He had his beginnings in India, where he was held by Saint Mother Teresa herself. Welcome, Patrick.
Well, thank you for having me, Jenny. And well, my story begins in India. But first, before I go a little further, telling my story of Mother Teresa, I want people to know, how Mother Teresa, her life, how it began in a very short way. Mother was stationed in Calcutta at the Loreto convent, and she was a teacher for 20 years. And while she was teaching the students for so many years, in 1947, India was just had its independence, and there was fighting between the Hindu and the Muslims, and there was a lot of bloodshed. And Mother Teresa sometimes would look out her window and she would see the poor people, starving or they need help, and she saw all of this that was happening. And she sometimes she would, during lunchtime, she would go out and give away her own lunch, and she did that many times. And so. And I know she was probably saying, "Lord, I wish I could be out there taking care of them." So her mother superiors noticed that she was overwhelmed with all of this going on. So she told her to take a retreat to Darjeeling, and so she did. And when she got off the train, there was a man laying down there on the floor and calling to Mother, said, "Come, come. I thirst. And Mother saw Jesus in that man. It was Jesus that was calling Mother. Yes. And he said, I thirst for the unwanted, the unloved out there, the abandoned babies, the elderly, people who had no homes." Jesus said, "I'm in them. That's where you'll find me." So Mother had a call within a call to go out and be with the poor and find Jesus in every person. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, St. Mother Teresa asked for permission from Rome, to start the Missionaries of Charity. She was not very well known at that time. And so she started in Calcutta. And so anyway, what happened was Mother, she did everything herself, really. She didn't have any help. And so she would just go out on the street and teach these kids how to read and write. And some people didn't want her around because they didn't know her, And she wasn't teaching about the faith. She was just teaching them to read and to love them. And so Rome approved with that. And so the missionary charity was started. And I'm just telling you just brief of her life. I mean, there's a lot to it. And so this is just brief of her life, a story about her life. And so anyway, one of the bishops asked Mother, "Well, why can't you come to Bombay? We have poor people in Bombay." And the Bishop of Bombay said, Mother Teresa said, "Okay, we'll open up the second one." So they opened up the second missionary charity in Bombay. It was in Byculla. And so my mother, I was an infant, and my mother couldn't take care of me. And so she put me there, hoping the sisters from the convent maybe would come by and pick me up and take care of me. So Mother Teresa and the sisters happened to come by, and there were the hands of Mother Teresa. She picked me up, and I don't recognize because I was an infant. And here she's holding the little baby Jesus, because Jesus said to Mother, "I'm in the poor." And she held this little baby Jesus. She found baby Jesus, little baby Jesus, and that little baby Jesus was me. And I know Mother must have smiled at me, and I know I was crying and needed food and something to take care of me. And so Mother took care of me and fed me, and I was baptized into the church, and they named me Patrick because they didn't know who the parents were. There was no document, nothing like that. And so people wanted signs. They're telling me, Pat, are you sure was it the hands of Mother Teresa? And I said, Mother Teresa, give me a sign. Was it your hands that picked me up from the street of Bombay? And I get a call saying my whole family is going to Rome. Everything is all taken care of, the food, the hotels, everything was all taken care of. And the ticket to go to the Vatican was all taken care of. So I get to Rome, and thousands that are going into the Vatican, and there's a long line. We get up at 5 in the morning. We're already in Rome, trying to be there for the canonization of Mother Teresa, the special mass for her. And so we were packed like sardines. I was right in the middle, and there's so many people around me. And the Missionaries of Charity sisters were coming from all over the world, but they're already probably in there. And then all of a sudden, this nun, a Missionary Charity sister comes, just one nun, comes right out of the crowd and says, you and your family, I want you to take that row over there. But there was no line. And I looked, and I thought, oh, and the sister was gone. So I went there, and the security guard with the gun, come, you and your family. And they took me, just us, and took me up there, and I said, Mother Teresa, it was your hands that picked me up. Even in Minneapolis, when I was visiting the Missionary Charity sisters there, and they had the clothes of Mother Teresa, that she wore when she came to Minneapolis. And the sisters told me about it, and so I said, Sister, maybe I'll have to ask Mother one more time. Was it her hands that picked me up? And I put my hand on that glass where her clothes is hanging, the jacket. And I said, Mother, was it your hand? And wow, I felt such power that went through me. I could not even explain. It lasted so long. I could barely even walk. It just hit me. And so there was another lady who gave me a ride, and she said, no, let me touch it, Pat. And she said, no, I don't feel anything. So then I knew it was Mother Teresa. So we were right in the front row. We had a chance to be very close to Pope Francis. And so halfway through the Mass, the picture of Mother Teresa was right above the altar. And I looked up at her, and I said this very simple prayer. I said, Mother, I was hungry, and you gave me to eat. Mother, I was thirsty, and you gave me to drink. Mother, I was abandoned, Mother, and you held me in your arms. Mother, you lived the gospel very well. May we all take your example to live the gospel each day of our life, no matter what. Mother, I remembered your story throughout my life, throughout your life, Mother, too, that when you were in Australia, this man came up, that you visited this man at the apartment building, and you said to him, could I kindly clean your room? And the old man said, no, I'm fine, I'll be okay. Mother said, you'll be okay if I take care of you. And so Mother noticed there was a lamp there, and it had cobwebs and dust. And Mother said, do you ever turn that lamp on at night? And the old man said, for whom? For many years, nobody has come to visit me. And Mother said, if I send my sisters to come visit you, will you turn that lamp on? Oh, yes. So every evening, the sisters would come and clean up and clean the refrigerator and also make him some food and everything. And that lamp was on. The light was on every night, that lamp. Every night. And then one day, 10 years later, he called Mother and said, Mother, you remember me? And he said, yes, how is it going? Says, Mother, that lamp you lit in my heart is still shining bright. I remember there's another story when Mother went to England, and there was a beggar on that floor, drunk guy begging, and he was drunk. And Mother grabbed his hand, and the guy looked at Mother right away and said, "Ooh, it's been a long time since I touched the hands of a human being." See, Mother Teresa never preached about Jesus to us. Mother Teresa was just compassion. She gave everything out of her heart, and she did it for Jesus. And that's how I came to know Jesus, because of her compassion, her kindness. You know, there's a lot of suffering, you know, where people don't have food or clothing, shelters, elderly people who are all alone, who have no one. And Jesus at that time chose Mother Teresa to be out there with them. And Mother Teresa went to each person and saw Jesus in them. That's all he saw. And he wanted to give everything out for Jesus. And before he could give Jesus to the world, you know what she did? She would visit the Blessed Sacrament. She would tell her sisters, before we go out and tell everybody about Jesus, we have to embrace Jesus in the most blessed sacrament. And so Mother would spend 1 hour of adoration, having a beautiful conversation with Jesus. We all should have that beautiful conversation with Jesus, at least once a week. That's what I try to do in my life. And so Mother went out into the world, and she didn't preach, she just lived. Like Jesus said, love one another. Feed them, clothe them, take care of them. And Mother did all of that. You know what Mother said about life? Life is precious. Every person that we meet is a gift from God. Every person, you're a gift from God. I'm a gift. My family is a gift. Every person we meet, even the person who's not even well known, God created that person in His image. God could have picked any image He wanted, but He picked the image of a human person like us because He loves us. If you want the heart of God to move like Mother Teresa did, if you want to touch the heart of God, it's humility. It's just being who you are, who God created you to be. Life is so precious. Mother Teresa talked about abortion. Let's end abortion with adoption. There's so many families out there that would love to adopt your children if you're going to give it up. Because life is so precious, and life is a gift from God. Every person that God created, it's in His image. I want to thank you, Jenny, for this wonderful opportunity to share this to the whole world, wherever your video will go. And I want to tell you, before I came here, I wanted to make sure I bring the relic of Saint Mother Teresa. It's a first-class relic of Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And it came right from Calcutta. Sister Prima sent it to me, and she's the head of the Missionaries of Charity. And so she gave me this relic of Saint Mother Teresa. So I wanted to make sure, if I'm going to talk about her, I wanted her to be right next to me. And I know she's present here.